What's going on, everyone? Welcome back again to Snug Wrestling with your host. My name is Edgar, and we are traveling to the future. What the hell do you
Yes.
mean by that, Edgar? Well, I am here, and it's Friday. The day that we're recording right now is Friday, but my guest is actually recording on a Saturday. Now, how the hell is that possible? Well, he has joined us all the way from Australia and decided, like, hey, let's talk some wrestling with Snug Wrestling. So, what's up, man? Thank you for being with us today. How you doing? How's everything over there in the future?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. SmackDown's fantastic. I've already seen all the results and stuff. I know that you're watching it firsthand. Yeah, it's good over here.
Yeah, rub it in, rub it in. You got to see SmackDown before me. I'm watching it right now as we speak, and LA Knight is beating the shit out of AJ Styles. So we're gonna do our best to go over what happened on Friday Night Smackdown because it's still Friday over here. But first, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone that's watching? Let them know what you're all about, and yeah, what do you do, man? Let them know.
Yeah, all right. As the name says, Rowdy Roddy Reese here from the Down Under the Mat podcast. We are based in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia as a whole. Regardless of what people might think about Sydney or Melbourne, we are the capital. Um, I've been watching wrestling pretty much my whole life, as far back as I can remember. I think one of my first interactions was with China winning the Intercontinental Championship, which was long time ago. My
Yeah.
mother ended up taping an episode of Raw for us to watch, and she watched it first to see if it was suitable for us, and then the whole family was just into it. I'm one of three brothers. Myself, I'm the youngest. We've got my brother Damien, who's the middle, and Josh, who's the oldest. Damo wasn't really into wrestling, but the rest of the family all watch it together, all talk about it all the time. So it's really good.
Wait, so
Um,
your mom watched a wrestling match of the Attitude Era with you as a kid, and she was like, this is okay. I can let my kids watch this actually.
it must have been a really tame episode.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I
I
mean,
know there
China
weren't too
was
many of them back then.
well, I mean, if China was wrestling, I mean, she was probably beating up on some dudes when she was winning the
Yeah,
Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
yeah, it's
we'll
fine.
let
It's
yeah,
fine.
okay.
It was the
No,
other way around though. Like maybe not so much, but
yeah, no bra and panties matches. And oh boy, I had to
oh
I
look, oh, growing up as a teenager when those matches were pretty prevalent, we enjoyed it because of hormones. But looking back on it now, I'm so glad we don't have to deal with that stuff. No more mud wrestling, no more stupid shit like that. Because the women are actually fantastic in the ring. Like what we've got today is just astounding in WWE, in AEW, Ring of Honor, all over the world. It's just great to see.
so we're not gonna bring him back then. Okay.
No,
No, I'm kidding. No, I mean there is no more what were they called? Mud was it mud pool or
mud pit. Ah, I can't
mud
remember.
pit matches or whatever, but there is still a lot of mud show matches, if you get my what I'm saying.
We very early on in our podcasting career with Down Under the Mat, we used to set aside, I think it was like 10, 15 minutes, and we called it the Mud Show segment of the week, where we just
Oh,
shit
yeah.
on botches and just like things that we thought were really bad angles during the week. It turned into AEW shitting too much. So we kind of
Ah,
like did away with it because we were just picking on them a little too much.
I did see something like that. I believe I forgot who it was. They were like, "Yeah, we should probably kind of hold back on that a little bit and not go so hard on AEW," which I
Yeah.
get. I get. I recently had one of those I don't even know the word, I guess regrets because I found myself going in on Tony Khan a lot all the time.
Oh, these past few weeks have been pretty bad with Tony Khan. Not gonna lie,
Man,
but
and he gets a lot of shit. I mean, I know we like to poke fun, but for all the shit that he takes on the internet and people say about him, and I'm just gonna be straight up, like there's been people on the internet that have committed suicide for way less than the shit that
yeah,
Tony Khan has
yeah,
gotten. So the
he's
fact
dealing with a
that
lot of stuff.
The fact that he just deals with it and still shows up to work every day, even though it's not the best thing in the world, I give that man credit.
Yeah, he's got to be wrapping in his brain around all the stuff that he's got to deal with. Like, I do, I do feel that I need to myself peel back from shitting on AEW so much sometimes and just put all the stuff aside that I don't like and just enjoy the product in the moment and stop trying to like overanalyze it. Because I feel like that's what happens with me a lot, especially with AEW. Because like growing up WWE my whole life is just such a different product that sometimes it can be a little bit jarring to try and like adjust to the changes.
Yeah.
So I find that sometimes like the past couple of weeks especially I need to just don't think about it in like a over analyzing sort of mindset, just sit down and enjoy it. And then turns into really good TV. Maybe
Yeah,
not so much
sometimes it
Dynamite
has.
last week though.
Oh man, no. It has its good moments. Like I still really enjoy some of the wrestlers there. But right now I'm really enjoying this match with AJ Styles and LA Knight. Um, why don't you just spoil it for me right now and just what was the outcome of this one?
Uh, as I think a lot of people suspected, AJ ended up getting the victory over LA Knight.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Okay. I mean, that's what makes more sense, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
AJ Styles right now, he's been a major heel since he came back. Since he came back from his big injury, AJ Styles, I've loved everything that he's been doing. And it just makes more sense that he'd be the guy to go up versus Cody Rhodes first, because he is a major heel. You're going to feed Cody Rhodes. You got to feed Cody Rhodes some heels.
Yeah, definitely.
So AJ Styles, that was the perfect fit. Um, so I'm looking forward to what is it? Is it what's the next pay-per-view?
Backlash.
Backlash.
The one in
Backlash.
France. So I
Yeah.
think that they've got the potential to do some really good cooking with this feud. So we kind of covered it last week on our podcast. So with AJ and Cody, they're the only two active wrestlers that have held the WWE and NWA championship. And AJ Styles has actually wrestled Dusty Rhodes, but he's never wrestled Cody Rhodes. So that whole like what was it like 5-6 years where Cody was on the independents, they never crossed paths at all. So
Damn, that's how
it'll be
long
really
AJ
interesting to
Styles.
see how they build this.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that was another thing too. I'm like, these guys, both AJ and Cody, are such great promos. Like they can have a good program,
Yeah.
which Cody Rhodes can have a good program with LA Knight too, but that's like babyface versus babyface. Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
AJ Styles,
It's good that we do see a lot of babyface, or I don't think they really do them that much, but heel versus heel stuff because it just brings a different dynamic to what you're watching. So I really enjoy when they actually do end up doing that. But yeah, it makes more sense to have AJ come up, be a really formidable opponent for Cody to go up against first, and then depending on what happens in the draft, maybe stretch it out a few more months, get feud going. Maybe the OC can turn heel and join AJ again, reform a Bullet Club. Like we got Finn Balor, maybe Judgment Day gets split up in the draft. Like there's so much potential for the
So
future.
many
It'd be great.
possibilities. So many possibilities. And one of the things that I'm a huge Cody crybaby. Okay. I'm proud of it. All right.
I
Um,
joined very late. I will single myself out like that. It wasn't until I think a week or two before Mania that I was like, "Yep, all right, I'm on Team Cody."
wow, like that?
Yeah.
Man.
So
Okay, fine.
I'll give a bit of a background to that because I kind of fell out of wrestling between WrestleMania 38 and 39.
Uh-huh.
So pretty much that whole 12 months, I watched maybe one SmackDown, one Raw, or something. So I didn't really get the build up to that Cody Roman match, but I did watch it and it was great.
Oh,
So I
I
wasn't
see.
fully on board with that Cody finishing his story arc. And it wasn't
Ah,
until this year where like they released the documentary, which was fantastic, and then having The Rock as final boss. And then it was the segment where he was whipping Cody outside of his boss. I watched that and I was like, there's no way Cody's not winning at Mania after they're doing something like this. Like it's just crazy.
yeah. Yeah, man. When The Rock came back, I was like, man, again, attitude era kid here. So The
Yeah.
Rock growing up was like, he's The Rock. So when he came back to go against Cody, I'm like, fuck. Like I'm kind of in between now. Like I don't know what to do, but
Oh, I wasn't. I was like, yep, Rock Roman. We've been wanting it for years. It's finally the time. But then in come the Cody
yeah,
crybabies.
but I was in it. I was in it for the ride. Like ever since Cody Rhodes came back, like I was like, man, Cody needs to be champion. Even like before with the whole Stardust bullshit that he was doing, I
I
s-
like Stardust.
I okay, I liked it too because the way that Cody Rhodes was doing it was so good. If it was anyone else, like it probably would have been shitty, but
It probably would have flopped, yeah.
Cody Rhodes was just so good at everything he did, even from way back then. So he left. I was kind of sad about that. He came back, and it was like I was in it from like the very very beginning. So I was just like all about it, and I was so happy when it. And I never get tired of talking about WrestleMania, man. That shit was amazing.
Oh,
Uh,
the best WrestleMania. I will go out there and I'll put it above WrestleMania 17.
yeah, and it's been. It's only been a
2
couple
weeks.
weeks, but people
Yeah,
are still talking about it, and
yeah.
they're gonna keep talking about it. I feel like for a while now. Especially because Cody Rhodes, he's still talking about The Rock and Roman and the bloodline. They're making sure that we don't forget, like they still
Mm.
want to keep them relevant, it seems like, because The Rock said he's gonna come back, and oh man, WWE is just so fucking crazy right now.
What do you reckon he gave Cody?
A weed bag. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. A bag of weed. Hey, it is 420, at least for
It
you
is.
right now. Wait, do you guys
Yes, it
celebrate?
is.
Do you guys
Uh,
celebrate 420 over there?
Not personally. I don't. I know a lot of other people do, but it's never been my bag. But no
Wait,
judging
is
here.
it legal in Australia?
It is a complex situation. I think
That's a no.
technically the sale of it is illegal, but I think in Canberra and some other parts of the country, it's legal to grow
Hmm.
and for like recreational use. But selling is still illegal from last I remember.
Well, I was like, maybe if I mention 420, he's probably gonna be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
No,
But
no, no. We get it. We get it.
okay, right on, right on. Um, Speaking of Australia, so over here there's like a rumor, kind of like cliche that
Here we
me and
go.
my wife, and I just want the facts, okay? I just want you to be honest with me because me and my wife, we talk about like, oh, we should go to Australia, and she hates spiders. So
Me too. I
so
live in a
is
terrible
there
country.
really like fucking like spiders like the size of fucking cats out there, or what's
Oh, I
what's
think
the
cats is
deal?
stretching it a bit, but look,
Okay.
there are some pretty scary looking spiders in the country. There's ones that are pretty common in the household. We call them huntsman spiders. So they like the bodies can get like I don't know about this big, but like it's when the legs just like fully spread out.
Okay.
That's when
Nope.
they talk about like
Nope.
size of a dinner plate sort of thing.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I hate
I
them.
can't.
Like we've got funnel web spiders, which are kind of like tarantulas in a way, but sort of less hairy.
Ugh.
And then like once you get into the outback, there's all sorts of messed up shit. I think we've got Goliath bird eating spiders down here. There's ones called orb weavers, which they're pretty damn scary to look at because they're very angular with like the way their body and all their legs are. So it's like very sharp angles and stuff. But
Nope, we're not going to
yeah.
Australia.
Look, it's
Nope.
not that bad. Like if you're gonna come and you're gonna go to like Sydney or Melbourne, like you won't have a lot of interaction with them. I promise.
Okay. Right
You'll be
now I'm
fine.
seeing Solo show up in a suit looking real sharp.
How sharp does he look in that suit? He
And
popped out
Tom,
and I was like, yep, they're building towards this and him being tribal chief. I'm
so
pumped.
so do you think it's him calling the shots, or do you think it's The Rock calling the shots?
Oh, I think they're gonna tease that it's solo and then we'll get a surprise return from The Rock. And there's so many rumors and stuff going around, so it's fuel to the fire at the moment. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But I really like the idea of them doing another Bloodline Civil War. This time, like Roman's bloodline, so he'll get back with the Usos, and then Rock's
Yeah.
bloodline, him, Solo, and Tamatonga. People have talked
Yeah.
about Jake Fatu coming in and Zilla as well. So have one of those on
Yep.
each of the sides, have 4-on-4. Like, there's just so much potential,
Yeah, and
and they're just cooking it so nicely.
people that are watching right now, feel free to drop your fuck is the word, your predictions. There we go.
Predictions.
I
There
use
we go.
that word all the time, and I'm already forgetting. Drop your predictions. What do you think is happening with Solo? Is he losing his mind, or is he just following orders from the final boss? Um, so you were at the elimination chamber.
Yes, yes. Spent a
Okay.
lot of money getting over there. Spent a lot of money while we were there, but it was well worth it. It's a great
So
experience.
so how far was this commute from where you are?
I don't know the distance in kilometers because it's literally like when you look at Sydney and Perth, they're kind of directly opposite sides of the country. So I think
Driving or flying? How'd you
we
do?
flew. Oh.
Oh, okay. Then okay.
So I drove to Adelaide, which is kind of like the middle of the country in November last year, and that was 2 days of like 8-hour days of driving. That was too much. So
Oh shit.
we
Okay.
flew over. I think it was like a 8-hour flight. No, not 8 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours or something.
It's better that
Like
way, isn't it?
2,000 kilometers. I don't know. Anyway, it was a fantastic trip. We got over there a few days before. We stayed a couple days after the event as well. Just went around, did a bunch of sightseeing, bunch of tourist stuff because we were actually tourists in our own country, which is good.
Oh, so that was the first for you then to go out
Yeah, it's
there.
first time
Oh,
over
that's
in Perth, so
fuck
I've only got
yeah.
2 more capital cities to go to. Darwin, which is up the very top, and then Hobart, which is in Tasmania, the little chunk of island down south.
Nice.
Yeah.
So worth it then. Worth
Yes,
it.
very much.
Yeah,
Especially
I
to
was
see Mummy. Gotta love Rhea Ripley. Absolutely devastated about Monday Night Raw and her vacating of the
Oh
title.
yeah, dude. I was hoping that was a work. I'm like, man, because of the way that it went down was just like, okay, this has got to be a work because Rhea Ripley took out Liv Morgan a while back. That's what caused her to leave. Liv Morgan comes back on this revenge tour, and then it's like, oh, Liv Morgan injured Rhea Ripley, and I'm like, okay, this has to be
It's almost too coincidental, but I don't know. When I was watching
way too
that Liv
coincidental.
Morgan
Yeah,
attack last week, I know Rhea's really good at selling shit, but like there
yeah,
was just something about the way that she was reacting after that chair shot that I was like, doesn't look right. So
yeah,
I'm assuming it happened there at some point. Maybe something got tweaked, but yeah, devastating. I was sitting here watching Raw and I was just like, shit, fuck.
yeah.
Turned the
And
tablet off, went out, walked around for a little bit, just to sort of like de-stress and
yeah, so
try
I
and
heard it.
get over
I,
it.
I heard a few things about those types of injuries from people that are like, oh, I've had that injury. And she shouldn't be gone for that long. Maybe like 3 months, they were saying, which I mean, if you really think about it, for an injury, I don't think that's that long. But I haven't heard anything else, like any reports of like how long she might be gone for.
Yeah.
Um, but hopefully it's not that long. But I found this article here that I wanted to ask you about. That speaking of people leaving and getting injured, going on hiatus, I'm gonna skip ahead here because it looks like some people got released tonight.
Yes, I have seen the murmurs. I know of 3 specifically. I don't know if there's any more yet. I haven't seen any.
I've only seen 2 names, and one of them was Jinder Mahal and Zai Lee.
Yeah. To add a third one into that, Zion Quinn, who he used to be down at NXT. He was like the last draft. He was like a free agent sort of thing. I think he was the one that got squashed by Braun last week. Pretty sure that was him on SmackDown.
Braun
Braun Breaker,
Breaker.
not Braun.
Every
Braun Breaker.
Okay, every time I hear Braun, I'm like, Braun Strowman, he's back. No, no.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
I have a strong opinion about Zion Quinn because he's Australian. Our local sports over here, well, one of them, rugby league. They just did a massive thing over in Vegas in March to do like the season opening. Um, he used to play rugby league for the team that I support, which is the Canberra Raiders. So
hmm,
when I got wind of him, he went over to pursue professional wrestling. He got signed by WWE to NXT, and then he's made a couple of appearances here and there, but hasn't done too much. And then now he's getting released. So it sucks for me as an Australian not being able to see him on that platform anymore. But they haven't used him that much to begin with anyway. So kind of like could see it coming in a way.
Yeah, yeah. At some point, they're probably like, "Man, if you're not gonna do anything with me, then just let me go, dude." You know, I don't
Yeah,
know. So this is legit then. I thought this was gonna be like something that they did for an angle or something on TV because it just seemed like out of nowhere, like all of a sudden, Jinder Mahal just said, "I quit, Maharaja out" on his Twitter, and I'm
yeah,
like, again,
that's crazy.
I'm such a huge like conspiracy theorist, dude. Everything's a work to me, dude. I'm like, oh no, no, that's a work, bro. Nah. But damn, that sucks, man. Jinder Mahal.
I have never been that big of a Jinder fan, but it sucks that he's gone now because like he had Indus Sher there, they had opportunities to kind of build them up as a credible threat as a group, but it never really happened. And then Jinder getting that massive segment with The Rock to kick off day one in 2024, like
Yeah,
they could
that
have
was
just taken that and just ran with it, but nothing happened.
yeah, that was another thing too. There is see this okay, the other one, Zai Lee, and remind me the third guy's name from Australia.
Zion Quinn.
Zion Quinn. Okay. Yes, I understand those, but Jinder Mahal, he looked like he had a lot of potential as a manager. He had that big segment with The Rock, so I'm like, they can do a lot with Jinder Mahal for them to just let him go like that, you know?
Yeah, like he's just a natural heat magnet. Like even if you put him in a managerial role, like he's able to get those crowd reactions because everyone just loves hating him. So
Yeah.
I don't know
And
whether they just flat out didn't see anything for him, even in that format. So
he kind of drew, didn't he, versus Seth Rollins? That
yeah,
match that he had.
I thought that was a really good match, and the fact that that was a bit of a throwback to their like they faced off to be the first ever NXT champion back when they kicked that brand off. Like that was a nice little like throwback to the history. But yeah, they put on a fantastic match.
Right now, I'm looking at Triple H. He's coming out, and I'm assuming this is to present the new tag team titles.
Have you seen them
That
yet?
was I have seen them, and
Oh,
they're
they look so
gorgeous.
good. They look so good.
They're
I thought
beautiful.
the Raw ones were pretty good, but these ones just blow them out of the park.
Oh yeah, no, these is this is the ultimate classic throwback to the
Yeah,
Attitude
that was
Era,
the
dude.
first thing I saw. I looked at it, I was like, they've taken the main plate and just tweaked it from those
Ah,
original OG tag team titles.
the Miz and R2, they're
Absolutely love
probably
it.
shitting bricks right now. Like, why the fuck didn't we get some cool like that?
Yeah, Dan said, the guy that we do the podcast with, he said, "Why do they still look like coins?" Which is a very good point because that center
No.
plate is still just like circular. It's gold. It still looks like a coin.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to send you a picture that one of my cousins sent me. Because I'm using my phone right now to watch SmackDown. If not, I would send it to you. But I'm gonna send you what a funny comparison to the Monday Night Raw championship belts, and you're gonna die. It's hilarious.
All right, I
Um,
look forward to it.
yeah, so those belts are cool. How do you feel now that we're back to the the two champions on each show?
Oh, I think it's been needed for a long time. We've had a lot of tag teams. I think SmackDown especially cops the brunt of it because Judgment Day was so prevalently shown on Raw. All the SmackDown teams just got shafted to the side. They didn't get any great opportunities. So it's great that we've got that belt split back now. So you've got more opportunity to showcase these tag teams. It just the fatal four way from tonight, which is going to be after they present the titles. It's
Mhm.
absolutely outstanding. You got the Street Profits, New Catch Republic, Legado del Fantasma, and Authors of Pain. Fatal four way, fantastic. That
Not
just
for a
goes to
number one
show, like,
contenders match.
yeah. And now that they've got something to be fighting for, they're going to be pulling out crazy matches like that more often, which is it's great for everyone.
Yeah. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are coming out with the old belts. Those are some ugly belts, man, compared to
Oh
the ones that they're about to get. I didn't
yeah,
realize how ugly they were until
so
we Yeah.
We've
So who
had that
won that? Who won
design
that?
for like 12 years now or something. Like that coin design with the two Trojan helmets. It's been there for ages. Like back when it was a black strap with the copper plating, and then thank God they're gone. Thank God.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a random question um, about some of the terms that I learned that are used in Australia, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. So
All right.
I saw this video a while back with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Have you seen it? When they were in Australia
Possibly.
filming a movie. So they said a funny word, and I'm curious. Like, is this really a thing that you guys say a lot? Chucking a wobbly.
Oh, maybe not in my household a lot growing up, but yeah, it is. It's essentially just chucking a tantrum.
Okay. When I
But yeah,
first heard that,
it is Australian slang.
that wasn't the first thing that came to mind. I wasn't
I
thinking of
assumed you
any
meant something else.
chucking a wobbly. Oh, I was,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway,
I know. Let's keep it PG.
now, now we can say whatever we want. No, I'm just kidding. No, we probably. I don't want to get bad. No, I got flagged a few times on TikTok, so I got to be careful.
Oh, it's just like
Um,
swearing and stuff, or other
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Saying too many bad words. Apparently, I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. Anyway,
It's fine.
chucking a wobbly is okay. YouTube,
Yeah,
all right. We can say chucking a wobbly. I got permission from
yeah.
someone from Australia, so it's legit.
Thumbs up from Australia. Go for it.
um. So right now, while Austin Theory and Grayson Wallers get their new belts, I want to ask you about. There's been some talks about Mick Foley. I think you might have heard of him.
Yeah,
He's all right.
you know Mick. He's
He,
not bad.
he's done all right for himself. A possible final match for Mick Foley, and there's been a lot of rumors going around that he might face this guy or he might face that guy. And I think there was even a possibility of him like doing something at JCW or something. I don't know. But now they were talking about the possibility of his final match being versus Randy Orton. And this is just like a hypothetical. Would you be happy to see Mick Foley come back and do a final match like that?
Oh, that is a very good question. I haven't seen any of these rumors, so it caught me very off guard.
Yes. I was trying to do that.
Look, Mick Foley. I think his days are long gone. No offense to
Mhm.
Mick, and if he's going to come back, I don't think there's anything else that he should be doing other than a hardcore match because that's what he's most popular for. But I don't want to see him at that age doing a match like that. And I think if he's just going to wrestle Randy Orton in just a normal match, I don't think it's going to be that good. That's just
Damn.
my 2 cents. Like Randy could bring him up to a certain level, but
Yeah.
it gets a point where these older wrestlers like you just want them to live their lives and just be healthy and don't come back in the ring and tarnish your legacy like some 16-time world champion has done previously.
Yeah, dude. That I same thing. I mean, the first thing that I thought of when I heard, Mick Foley wants to come back to do a final match was the Ric Flair's final match. Did you
I
see
have not
that?
watched it to this day, and I don't think I want to.
No,
I've
you
seen
don't.
clips, and that's enough.
No, you don't. You do not want to watch that. I'm sorry. I love Rick, but man, it was brutal. Um, but that's the thing about these wrestlers and also just like sports in general. When you love something, when you love doing something so much, if you can't do it either because you got injured or you're getting old, dude, that's like the shittiest feeling. So I get these guys finding every excuse they possibly can just to go back and do it one last time. But Mick Foley had recently reported that he re-injured himself somehow. I don't know, maybe walking around telling jokes or something.
Yeah, that was going to be
So
my thing, falling downstairs maybe.
yeah, so I'm like, dude, if you're getting injured not wrestling, then maybe you shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, did you answer this question? Who won this fatal four way match? I missed it.
What's your guess? And then
Oh,
I'll
oh, that's a stumper. So you said we had the AOP, we had the Street Profits, we had Newcastle Republic, and who was the other one?
Legado del Fantasma. So
Okay.
Humberto and Angel.
Well, this is basically three heel teams versus one babyface team. So I'm gonna go with the babyface, the new catch.
I don't know about that. I think it spoilers. It was Street Profits. Here's the thing
Mm.
about Street
Oh, I
Profits
forgot
being
about
around
those.
Bobby
Those are
Lashley.
babyface. That's a
Yeah.
babyface team, huh?
So like they
Damn. All
tried to
right.
do that whole heel thing, but everyone loves Bobby so much it didn't quite work. So they're just
Mm,
back to being baby faces. But yeah, I
okay.
looked at this match and I was just like, they don't really do the heel on heel thing much. So just they're not even in the discussion. New Catch Republic, they've had a fair few title opportunities at Elimination Chamber and at WrestleMania. So time to give
Yeah.
Street Profits a go.
Yeah. The other reason too that I assumed the new catch is because the DIY got the number one contender match over on Monday Night Raw. And it seems like they've already had multiple opportunities at the tag team titles and they got another one. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they give new catch, another shot. But okay, I can I can get into that. I can as long as Austin Theory and Grayson Waller retain, then that it's all
Yeah.
good.
That's all that matters. Any sort of Australian wrestlers, I'm just like, whether they're heel or face, doing well, doing poorly, I'm supporting them all the time.
Well,
So
I mean, it
chuffed to
seems
see Grayson as champ.
like I've been seeing more and more Australian talent like in the big times lately, hasn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like growing up during the Attitude Era and then the Ruthless Aggression Era, um, we had Nathan Jones for all of like 6 months, and that was it. That's pretty much all the Australian talent that we had. So now having the likes of Rhea Ripley, Tony Storm, Indy Hartwell, Bronson, Grayson, Duke Hudson's doing okay down on NXT as well. Like we've got so much global talent out there now. It's great to see because then we've got people growing up in Australia who now can look at that and be like, oh, maybe I can actually get there someday. Because it was such a rare occurrence in the past, but now that we've got so much more representation, it gives people the ability to dream and actually potentially succeed as well, which is fantastic for the kids and stuff growing up.
What's the scene out there? What's the scene like out there in Australia? Is there a lot of like indie promotions?
Yeah, we have a lot of like smaller promotions. So when we were in Perth for Elimination Chamber, we went to the local Perth wrestling show, which is EPW. I think it was Eastern Pro Wrestling they were called. They've got Riot City Wrestling, which is based in Adelaide. Uh, MCW, which I assume is just Melbourne City Wrestling in Melbourne. We've got PWA Pro Wrestling Australia, who's based in Sydney. Not too familiar with any of the Queensland promotions, except the Townsville promotion, Queensland Wrestling Alliance, because I used to live up there. And then in Canberra, we've got a few different ones. I'm actually wearing a shirt right now. Slam Pro Wrestling League. They're our
Hell yeah! Shout out to them.
Yeah, they've actually got some videos of their events up on YouTube as well. So if you got some spare time, check them out. They did a show in December just last year called Rage in the Cage, which is one of the biggest um, gates for an Australian wrestling show, like an indie promotion sort of thing. So they did fantastic job there. So we got a few different ones going around, and a lot of the talent
Yeah.
that we get at Slam is from some of these different promotions around the country as well. So it's very everyone pretty much works together, similar to how the indies do over in America as well. Like you have people on different shows all the time, which is really good to see.
So you ever catch yourself going to those indie shows a lot?
Yeah, so the Slam ones specifically, like we do some like special episodes after their events, and they do them. I think they're averaging like every 2 to 3 months they'll do a show, and then they've just recently introduced like Slam Academy, which is like a smaller sort of show. So I go to that quite often. We've been trying to make some time to go to some of the other promotions as well, like World Series Wrestling is coming down under. So have you heard of World Series Wrestling?
No, I'm not familiar.
I think the way they kind of base it is they'll pick like 10 stars from overseas, bring them to Australia, and then they'll have some local talent on the show as well. So at the moment, even though he's just been injured, Matt Cardona is the World Series Wrestling champion.
God damn.
So
So he is the indie
yeah,
god. They don't call him
he
the
is the
indie
indie
god.
god, and it's global. So
This
they've got a
fool.
show at the end of June that we've got tickets to in Sydney, and there's one in the middle of June, one of the PWA shows, who's got. They've just announced their world title match, which is going to have Delta in it, who is the Riot City Wrestling champion at the moment, like the heavyweight champion. And apparently she was one of the standouts for the tryouts over in Elimination Chamber as well. So we might be seeing her on a bit more of a global stage soon. I'll send you a couple of pictures and videos after we're all done here and
Hell
introduce you
yeah.
to her and
Yeah,
keep an
dude.
eye out for her. Because I think like she participated with that indie show over in Perth that we went to before Elimination Chamber. And just seeing her in the ring for the first time that night, you could tell that there was something special about her. And then we found out that she did really well at the tryouts. So I think it's just a matter of time before she's making the jump overseas.
Yeah, maybe we can get her to come on to the Down Under the Mat podcast one time.
Oh, I'd love to try and organize that, but we'll see what happens.
Dude, so that's cool, man. You never know who you'll run into in these indie shows, man. Like
That's exactly it.
I've even went to a couple of indie shows here, and I've seen a lot of like, I guess, well-known names. Like the biggest one that I saw is just a random indie show in San Jose, California, which is like 2 hours away from here. And Cain Velasquez was there just randomly. Yeah, and it's just like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, can I take a picture? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just
I had
chilling there.
I had a couple of similar scenarios like that when I was living in Townsville attending the QWA shows up there. We had, don't know if we can talk about him, but Joey Ryan. Do you know Joey Ryan?
Oh, nah, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
So
Yeah,
I'll just like, I'll say that, move on. He came up to Townsville a couple times. I only saw him the once. But we also had EC3 come to Townsville.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely crazy.
We
like,
can talk about him.
That, he went to NXT, he went to WWE, he's now in NWA. Like, just seeing him at a random show in Townsville. And like, if you have a look at the map of Australia, like you've got the East Coast there, Sydney and Melbourne are like down here. Townsville is just like all the way at the top. It takes too long to get there. So the fact that he put in the effort to appear was just mental. I ended up getting a photo with him as well, which is really cool.
That's one of the ones too that I'm like, man, how the fuck didn't they do anything with him? I mean, he seems like he has, he marks off all the fucking the check boxes in the WWE,
Yeah, he's got the look. He's got the mic skills, even though when they brought him up to the main roster, he was given a non-speaking gimmick, which was ridiculous. Peak Vince bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the problem because he made a name for himself before coming to WWE in Impact. And maybe that got looked at in a negative light in those days. Whereas, like, I feel like if the jump had have happened these days, he would have been fine.
So we got a new world heavyweight champion over on Monday Night Raw. Senor, former Money in the Bank, Damien Priest. How are you feeling this title reign that we're experiencing right now over there on Monday Night Raw?
I was so hoping that Drew would just keep that title for a little bit. Because I went to Dan's
for like
place,
5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, longer than that. We went to Dan's place to watch WrestleMania as a group, and they were calling for the cash, and I was like, no, just let him have it. Let him have the title for a couple of months. They can feud down the track at Clash in the Castle, whatever, and then yeah, the cash in. It was a great moment, and it's really weird to think about. Like the last cash in we got at WrestleMania was 9 years ago. Does not
Whoa,
feel like 9 years.
that's crazy. How do you
Yeah.
come up with this shit? Where do you find this?
Oh, I just look at dates. Like that's kind of the thing. Like with the podcast down on the mat, Dan's kind of like the analytical one. Ted, he's like our host, and he drives conversation, and then I'm kind of like the historian. Like I have a weird knack for just remembering the most random shit sometimes. And like once I see some stats and stuff, I'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's why I remembered the whole Cody and AJ being the only active WWE and NWA champions, because I was like, oh, I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool stat. It's a good talking point.
Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, AJ Styles wrestled Dusty Rhodes, and I'm like, what? What the fuck? Like,
I
when? How?
have social
In
media to
what
thank for
world?
that as well, because I sit
Oh,
on it so much, and I see
okay.
clips and like other people talking, so it's just like absorbing information. But yeah, like we'll talk about something, and Dan will say, "Oh, remember when this happened at that pay per view?" I was like, "No, it wasn't then. It was this pay per view, and then they did that, and then like, and they
Dude, I
just look at
can't
me like, how do you remember this shit?"
can't even remember what I did last month, dude. What the fuck? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
long term, like I think I got some decent memory, but like, we sit down on Sundays to record our podcast, and whenever we have to talk about Raw, it's kind of just like it's like six days, 5 days ago for us at that time when we record, and it's just like, what
Oh
happened?
yeah.
So we get that memory blank. It's just like
Yeah. So you guys
3 hours
record
of my life just gone.
once a week. Is do you guys do a live thing too?
Yeah, so we do it live in person at Dan's place. We don't do any like live streaming like this marvelous setup that you've got here, but we might look into it sometime soon. Yeah, we'll just sit there for a few hours, chat. We do some side shows as well. So we call them drafts. We do like little game shows and all that sort of stuff just to bring some like smaller, more easily digestible content onto the channel as well. And now that we've got all the TikTok stuff building up as well, we've been feeding those shorts onto YouTube shorts as well and trying to generate content like that as well. So it's really good. It's a lot of effort though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But see, that's the thing. That's a good thing about you guys. It's three of you guys, and you guys all bring in your different point of views together, and you guys all pitch in. Excuse me, like you said you're the historian, and there's different
Yeah.
perspectives, and that's what makes it so great. And I've seen your guys' stuff, and it's really entertaining. um but I'm gonna put you on the spot here because you said you are the historian,
Here we go.
so you might know who this person is. This person had a thing or two to say about Damian Priest and his title reign, and if you haven't heard of this person, then it's okay. Have you heard of Jim Cornette?
Yes. Yes.
I
I have
think
heard of Jim Cornette.
some people have heard of Jim Cornette, another guy who's he's done all right for himself, I think.
Yeah. I like him a lot
Um,
more than I like Dave Meltzer, that's for sure.
who? No, I'm kidding. So Jim Cornette had a few comments to say about Damian Priest and his title reign, and I wanted to get your thoughts about this. The promo, and this is Jim Cornette talking. I don't know why I want to call him James Cornette. Jim Cornette said the promo, why are they treating Priest like he still needs to be interacting with all of these foolish children? They gave Priest the belt to further the angle between Punk and McIntyre, not necessarily to help Priest, but to further the angle between Punk and McIntyre, which was brilliant. But they could give Priest something at the same time, but just don't have him be stupid with these other people.
Well, that's quite a comment. I've seen a lot of stuff this week about Cody and Damian Priest's championship run so far. It's been not even a full 3 weeks. So I think the entire world just needs to chill out on those two at the moment. Especially like we always get a bit of a lull after WrestleMania because like especially this year's one, like the stories and the build up and then the event itself, it was so epic. Like
Hmm.
there's naturally going to be a bit of a slope down afterwards. Not only that, we're also leading into the draft as well. So like Damien Priest and Jey Uso, I personally aren't really interested in that. I think Priest is going to retain easy. I think it's good for Jay to get that exposure to the main event now that he's at this stage like the main baby face on Raw for the next few weeks until the draft happens. But no chance in hell is Jay taking that title from him. I've seen people calling Priest a transitional champion. I don't see that happening either because, again, it's been a couple weeks. If WrestleMania 40 and the payoff is enough to go by, they will have stuff cooking for this title run. So just give it time.
Yeah. Yeah, people are going crazy when it comes to Cody and Damian Priest. A lot of people are already like, "Oh, Cody Rhodes is boring now. The story's over. There's nothing to look forward to." And I'm like, "Bro, Cody Rhodes, he's still coming out every week except for SmackDown, Friday Night Smackdown. But every other show Cody Rhodes comes out and he gets the huge pop still.
Yep.
Where I'm like, how where is he getting boring from? Like from where? How? Like
Maybe it's all the Roman stands, all the Roman
oh
Reigns
yeah.
stands.
Or the AEW stands.
Yeah, that too. Probably still salty that he left, but that was a really kind of weird period for Cody because like he was still babyface, but he was kind of toying with doing heelish things, and the crowd absolutely was over Cody. Like they were sick of him. I remember seeing, and I think I watched it live at one point. When Cody did the weight belt toss into the audience, they threw it back several times. So for him to go from that at the end of his AEW career to where he is now is just that turnaround in the past 2 years is crazy. But again, like we're 2 weeks in, not even a full 3 weeks. There's still a lot of time left. Let's just give him time to cook some good stories. Because mark my words, if this feud with AJ turns into a longer term thing and it turns out to be really goddamn good TV, people will change their attitude straight away.
I think they will, man. I think AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, that program is going to be so good. They're going to cut some great promos on each other, and they're both damn near veterans. At least AJ Styles is. They're both pros. They both know what they're doing. And Cody Rhodes does the little things, like he tries to bring in that old school feel in this modern day wrestling stuff with the way that he carries the belt. Oh, why does he carry that belt like that in that way?
His father used to, Ric Flair used to, like all the classic guys.
Right, just little things like that. Just how he carries himself, like a champion carries himself. He looks good. He's clean cut. He's a super baby face, and it's just like he does those little things, and that's what makes him so interesting. And AJ Styles, man, he's a badass heel. So as soon as I saw the 6 men that were doing the triple threat matches, I'm like, oh, AJ Styles, dude. It
Yep.
has to be all the way. It just makes sense, dude. Wrestling is good. Wrestling is beautiful.
Oh,
It's amazing when it makes sense.
yeah.
If it
But that's the
doesn't
thing.
make
It's got to
sense.
make sense.
So what else went down on this SmackDown? Did we see the bloodline? What was the outcome of
Oh,
that?
that segment was fantastic. So what ended up happening was there was Paul Heyman and Solo in the ring. Heyman's cut this promo about the tribal chief, and he like kind of stutters talking about the tribal chief because he's going to be away for a while. Roman is, so Paul's upset about it. Solo ends up snatching the mic off him, tries to say some stuff. He was getting some Dominic Mysterio type reactions when he's trying to speak. So
Yes, I
I
love
popped for
it.
that. I was like, here's where his character's going to start building because his reactions to that crowd engagement as well, fantastic. So he ended up talking about Tamatonga and kind of like ushering him down. But when they cut to the entranceway, out flies Kevin Owens,
Mm.
cut up, pouring down blood on the side of his face. So we had color on TV, which was great. they brought Kevin down to the ring. They beat him up a bit. Security guards, refs came out, split him up. Tama Tonga ended up getting a bit of blood like all over his arm, and so did Solo because he ended up giving Kevin Owens a spike while the security guards were trying to hold him up. So he got some blood over his hand, and as they were walking out, they were all just like looking at the blood. The reason why Kevin Owens was busted open though, after the ad break, cut to Paul Heyman being in the parking lot, and then Nick Aldis grabs him and he's like, "You care to explain this?" Pan the camera. It's been a car crash.
Oh
So
shit.
a car got T-boned. So obviously it was Tama Tonga T-boning Kevin Owens' car, and then just goes from there. But it's been 2 weeks, but I'm loving how they're doing this new bloodline stuff at the moment because it just brings a whole new dynamic. When Jimmy comes back, he's going to get a massive pop. So that's going to turn him face. There's already been talk of him being reunited with Jay at some stage in the near future. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I have seen a
especially
bunch of articles this week. Sorry to interrupt, but I've
no, you're
seen a
good.
bunch of articles this week. Roman Reigns is apparently going to be having creative input in the Bloodline story while he's
Mhm.
away. So having that and how that's going to happen, I'm pumped. Like we thought Bloodline was going to start teetering off after Roman lost, but
Mhm.
Chapter 2 is just beginning.
Yes. And I saw a date that Roman Reigns, his next scheduled date to be on SmackDown, but I can't remember, and it's
Oh,
bugging the crap out of me. I'm looking it up
wasn't it
right
like
now.
September or something? I feel like I was something late, but then I feel like it was
I'm
something
looking it
later in the year.
up.
But then I also heard it got cancelled. So
Oh man,
don't believe everything you see, kids.
what?
Sometimes it's
No,
just fake.
the internet never lies. The internet never lies. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, never.
Um, so Roman Reigns return date confirmed? Question mark. That's not very.
Yeah.
August 2nd. Roman Reigns is
Oh,
rumored to. Roman Reigns
that's the
is rumored to
SmackDown
appear
before
on
SummerSlam.
SmackDown
Interesting.
before SummerSlam, August 2nd.
Right.
But it says question mark, but we'll see.
Whether
Man,
it happens or
so
not.
they're lately I've been getting a lot of like they're really trying to take it back to the Attitude Era, and for some reason during this fatal four-way match, I'm just changing subjects because I saw that there's like
Yeah, that's
a
right.
whole bunch of fireflies in the building during this four-way tag team match.
Did you catch the Uncle Howdy teaser when Triple H was coming out?
Oh, is that
They
why
had
they're doing
the
it?
little, yeah, I think because they had the little glitch on the screen. They had the QR code pop up as well. I didn't. I tried to on
Oh
Raw because I
man,
was
they're
when
doing that.
New Day came out and the QR code popped up. I think I
Yeah,
spent like 5-10 minutes trying to pause it at the right moment to be able to
yeah.
actually scan the QR code. Didn't work, so I just looked up on TikTok people that had done it and what had happened. So with this one,
Mm-hmm.
um, QR code leads to a site which is just like it's like a cloudy sky and then this like dark silhouette. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
zoom in on one part of the silhouette where there's like light shading, there's a little patch of words there. And I think it was I am nobody was the words that were on this teaser. So
Mm.
man, they're cooking. I'm pumped for this. So all the rumors floating
Are
around
you?
about like Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan potentially being involved in the mix. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
And Matt Hardy too.
Yeah, that's get broken Matt Hardy again. Sign me up.
Yeah. Okay. So we actually talked about this. When was it? Not last night. I think the night before. Um, there's a lot of mixed reactions to this potential White Six family coming together.
Mm.
So do you think right now with everything that's going on in WWE, how they're trying to turn it into like a more like a reality thing? Um, do you think it's a good idea to bring back the White Six or to debut them?
It's it's I'm pumped for it, but it is a bit of a touchy subject because Bray passing is still it feels so soon.
Mhm.
but I don't think that they would have done this without like talking to the family, talking to the participants, and figuring out if it was the right time, if it was a good idea at all to do it. So I'm sure there would have been some big discussions prior to kick-starting this. And then like once you saw that teaser in the Bray Wyatt documentary, it was like, here we go. Is this going to build to something? I expected stuff to happen a couple months down the track for them to start teasing, but for them to start teasing it the Raw after Mania and then just run with it, like
Mhm.
I'm pretty excited, but it's also like just hope that they do it well, that it's not gonna be and it's not gonna feel like they're just like leeching off Bray Wyatt's name and his legacy. Hopefully it's done in a tasteful manner.
Right. Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, they're coming. They're coming. Something's
Yeah.
something's about to happen, especially if they're doing all this shit on their program with the barcodes and shit. So it's bound to happen eventually. Which we'll see, man. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I think Trips, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing a really good job. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
But
just
yeah,
let them give it time.
let let him cook. Let him cook. Go ahead, Trips. But yeah, man, Roddy, that's all I have for you today, man.
It's all
I
good.
had a lot of fun meeting you, getting to know you, getting to learn about your podcast. That shit, it's you guys got some good stuff out there. Next time, hopefully I can get all three of you guys on here. That would have
Yeah,
been cool.
I'm meeting up with them tomorrow to podcast for our usual Sunday get together. So I'll put the offer forth, and maybe we can tee up some time soon and get all three of us on here, have some
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell them that I'm super nice.
Yeah, I will. I did send them the link, so hopefully they're watching right now, but we'll see.
Like, no, don't worry. He's cool. He's not as crazy as he seems on his TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. Well, right
I
on, man.
appreciate the invite as well.
Yeah, man. Tell the people where they can find you before we jump off.
Yep. So down under the mat underscore podcast on TikTok, down under the mat on YouTube. We've got an Instagram page. We've got a Facebook that we don't use, but that's probably not the great platform to go to. All our content's on TikTok, YouTube, and then a couple other stuff gets put onto Instagram as well. So check us out. We've just recently crossed 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is fantastic. I love to see that. We're creeping close to the 300 followers mark on TikTok as well, which I'm very happy about because I've been kind of seeing over the whole TikTok side of things. So watching that slowly grow is just heartwarming. Love it.
Hell yeah. And I'm gonna make a whole bunch of TikTok videos from this conversation too. And I'm gonna be tagging y'all. And if you guys can
Thank you.
share it, that'd be
Yeah,
super
well,
cool. But yeah, man, until next time, don't be a stranger. And everyone that's listening and watching right now, thank you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. Later.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.